Welcome, angels and all. We're a little bit earlier this morning because life is getting in its way, but it doesn't stop us doing what we want to do. And the internet might keep failing. We'll see how we go. Might have to keep doing this again and again, but we won't stop. So we've been talking about finding our purpose, aligning with soul, aligning with who we are, and the things that can help, like peace and forgiveness and not buying into autism, OUGHT-ism, which is living other people's lives and choosing to live our lives and learning to say no. So there are several, and meditation and a few other things that will help us make right decisions in each moment, the big and the small. And then yesterday I took another tack and mentioned four things actually, that take us away from being able to make effective decisions. And one is fluoride and the other is television, and they both interrupt the nerve messages that go up and down our body and therefore interrupt our thinking, and they blur our thinking, and they stop us being able to be self-managing. We tend to, if we have a lot of fluoride, we tend to have the inability to think for ourselves and rely on other people, authorities particularly. And so I also mentioned microwaves. It's best not to sleep in those. Electric cars, they also do the same thing, that interrupt our thinking. So another thing that I see a lot of people doing, and most people know this, that whatever we focus on holds their attention and comes into our life, manifests in our lives. And it doesn't matter whether we say we love this thing or we hate it. If the thing is being mentioned in our brain or from our mouth or writing it down, whatever our focus is on, that comes into our life. And even if we say we hate something, that becomes the focus. And most people know this. But there's an awful lot of people I know who know this, but they still keep going on about the hate. I hate, Donald Trump or Jacinda Ardern, or I hate the weather, or I hate, I hate my neighbor, Every time we say I hate something, we're guaranteeing that it will be more of a thing in our lives. And even when people are doing these, I see cartoon caricatures of politicians doing silly things. So basically people are trying to put people down. They're saying, oh, I don't like that person, and I'm going to spend a lot of time creating a caricature of that person. And the time that you spend creating that caricature or liking it or reposting it or passing it on, that's time that focus on something that you are deriding is ensuring that thing's going to be in your life a lot more and more and more. So we don't have to be focusing on what we don't like. There's going to be things that happen in our lives. And what's the old Irish thing about, whatever I can change, I change. If I can't change, I let it go. So if we can't change a politician, if we can't change the weather, if we can't change banks or police or whatever it is we don't like, to put energy into saying I don't like it or I hate it, which is a lot of people do that. If we keep saying I hate whatever it is, people with blue hair, or I hate people with rings in their noses, or I hate, beef, or I hate vegetarians, or I hate what carnivores. If we focus on whatever we don't like, that's what's going to take more prominence in our lives, and that pushes away the things that we do want. So instead of focusing on what we don't want, which so many people do, all these protesters are protesting against things. I'm against whatever it is, digital IDs or I'm against this or whatever, that's probably not going to stop it. And I remember Mother Teresa said, if you want me to come and march against war, I won't turn up. However, if you want me to march for peace, I will be there. And she got it. That if you march against something, it will assume a bigger part of life. And people do this in... I see politicians people are standing for politics and they're going, I'm much better than him because he's awful and he's bad and he does all these awful things. If the politician an aspiring politician wants to do in politics, really they should just be focusing on what they will do and what they can do and how good they are. And pretend that the other person, the opponent, doesn't exist. But they keep bringing people's attention to the other person, and then they're surprised that this other person who we all hated and derided and abused and caricatured or whatever, suddenly they get voted in because there's so much attention on the person that we don't like. And it's a natural thing for humans because you think about what's in the news, whether it's newspapers, on television or wherever. There's a standard thing in reporting, in journalism. If it bleeds, it leads. So they always put the bad news on the front page, the big, terrible thing, a whole lot of, plane crashed, people died, no, there's attack, there's this bad thing on the front page. Because people so much love negative news. It fills our deep need because we are unfulfilled and we don't like ourselves. We can focus, we can sort of pretend that we're not so bad and read about all these other silly people, whether it's, Kardashians or whatever. We can focus on their silliness and it saves us having to be in with ourselves and change the things we don't like about ourselves because we can focus on somebody else. The ones that are wrong and they're silly and they Whatever we focus on pushes away the things we do want because we can only focus on something. We can't do the multitasking. Let's not pretend that we can do multitasking. If we focus on the thing we want, the thing we want will become more and more and more prominent in our lives. And the thing we don't want doesn't matter. If I don't like the hot weather, I can focus on something else. I can either focus on going to libraries and shopping centres or whatever, or I can focus on how do I move from here, or I can focus on getting better air conditioning and insulation and whatever, so I can focus on what I do want. And if I don't like, Donald Trump, I can focus on the person who's standing against him. Or if I don't like digital ID, I focus on what I can do in this system now. And because people have, particularly in England, which they just lost the whole, it was here, they lost the hate speech thing. People were just not protesting against it. They were promoting free speech. Promote what we want. And if we don't like the digital ID thing, we can focus on using cash. So we can focus on the alternative if we don't like something. So just think about this today. How often do you use the word hate? And how often do your dreams come true? I know some particular people use the word hate an awful lot. And I also know that they have big plans for this planet, and none of those plans have come through. No surprise. So let us focus on what we do want. Let us not deride those people that we don't like. Let us not laugh at them, because they are going to be more of our focus, and the things we do want don't have space in our mentality. and in our beingness and in our lives. So I wish you a day of loving the things you do want, a day of joy and wonderment of the things we do love, because there's millions of things that we love. I love my warm shower. I love the clothes that I get to wear. I love having my motorbike to hop on and go off and spend time with my wonderful students. And I love the money I get from doing that. And, there's 1,000 things we can be happy about. And it doesn't have to be great joy, but just gentle acceptance. And it's really nice. So let's not use the word hate from now on. Let's use the word love. Like, prefer, want, all those. So I wish you a love-filled day, and I bless every one of you. And I can't turn this off because there's a function in the way. Go away, thank you.